Terry, good morning. Happy Thursday. How are you today, my
I'm
friend?
good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Improving, I hope. We'll see how the day goes. You know, though, how you know how the day goes, Terry. You have plans. I don't know. I think it was Steinbeck who wrote the best laid plans of mice and men.
Yes.
Yes. So, it was in the Grapes of Wrath. Maybe I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember that back to like the 3 or 4 books that I actually read in high school, thanks to coercion from my English teacher.
That's pretty cool.
Your grade depends on this. Damn it. I like Death of a Salesman, maybe because I was a salesman afterwards. Yeah. Actually, when I was in college, I was a salesman. My good friend Joe, who I talk about his father all the time, being influential on me becoming a degenerate gambler. But his father had a business where he sold prefabricated homes in the Poconos. Yeah. And as a teenager, I would sell these homes that, they're sort of custom, but they were pre-built homes. You can kind of customize them as you want. You bought the lot, and then you had a bunch of different styles. So I was already doing some sales. So when we read Death of a Salesman, I was like, oh, you die if you're a salesman. It's the moral of the story. You become angry and bitter. But anyway, so apparently I didn't make me too angry and bitter, no matter what life throws at you, Terry. When you're dealt 7 and 2 off suit, you got to play that hand the best you can. Most of the time, like Kenny Rogers says, you got to fold them.
That's right.
But speaking of Kenny Rogers, one of the most common questions I get when I talk to people or emails that we get regarding horse racing betting, it's how do I know what to bet? Is probably the best way to phrase that question.
Yeah.
And it seems to me, from my experience, the way you kind of pick what you want to bet is through the money pools. And so let's talk a little bit about that instead of the news today, because normally Terry and I talk about a little bit news, but we figured last night we were having a little bit of a conversation once the cameras went off, and it was just Terry and I in the background talking all bad about everybody. But we were talking about how you what to bet, based on each race and how you bet and that sort of stuff. So my understanding of how to bet always comes from my friend Joe's father. When he mentioned to me, Rich, if you're going to put the money at risk, he says you always want to make sure that you get the maximum payout, right?
Yeah.
So he was talking about like slot machines and playing craps and all that sort of stuff. But it also applies to horse racing. So what I did here, Terry, is this. I didn't want to pull up like Twin Spires or, Bet Us or TVG or any of those companies and give you live examples. Instead, what I did is I created some hypothetical money pool. So this can be 3 different races at 3 different tracks, if you will, or it can be the same track. It doesn't matter. And typically you're going to see the win, the place, the show, the exact, the trifecta, superfecta, the double, and you'll have some form of the pick 3 and then the pick 4, pick 5, pick 6, something along those lines, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in those money pools, it shows you how much money is currently in the pool for this particular race for each type of bet. So this is how I use money pools to determine what I want to bet. So you're always going to find, I would say 99.9% of the time, you're going to find that the win pool is larger than the place pool. It's larger than the show pool, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because a lot of people bet on the horses to win. So in this particular, the first 2 examples I show are pretty straightforward. The win pool is larger than the place in the show. So one of the things you might want to do is if you're going to do win betting, it seems to me if you're going to do win, play, show, the win bet is where you should focus your attention because that's where the biggest amount of money is.
Okay.
Right. And you also know that you're going to come out with, you just know if you have a 2-to-1, you're going to get 220 on the show or the place. Whereas if you win, you're going to get $6. So it's a much better payout.
Correct.
So that stuff, some people do 2 across the board, that sort of thing. However you like to do that. Every now and then what'll happen is you'll see a bloated place or show pool, especially if there's a heavy favorite. So if there's a horse that's like 1-9, 1-5, something along those lines, you'll see those. In those cases, it might be good or wise to bet the place or the show pool instead, because if that horse runs out of the money, just about everybody has that horse in a win, place, or show position.
Right.
So if it runs out of the money, there'll be less tickets to divide that pool. So, for example, in the first column, you see there's $100,000 in the win pool. If only one person has that horse to win, that one person gets that $100,000.
That's correct.
That's how mutual betting works.
Yes.
So most people kind of understand this intuitively, but it's when they come to like the exactas, the trifecta, what they identify as exotic bets is where the confusion comes in.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I know which one's the right one to bet? So in our first example, you see there's $89,000 in the exacta pool, right?
Yes.
$25,000 in the trifecta pool, and $68,000 in the superfecta pool. Well, based upon those three numbers, I would either bet the exacta, but if I'm looking for the bigger payout, I will not bet the trifecta. I'll go to the superfecta because there's $68,000 in the superfecta pool, and which is more than what you see in the trifecta pool.
Yep, that's correct.
And if I'm trying to figure out, do I want to do a superfecta or a trifecta, or do I want to do a vertical bet like the pick 3 or pick 4 instead? In this particular case, I would choose between the superfecta, the $68,000, or the pick 4, $112,000. I'd probably go with the pick 4 because there's $112,000 in the pick 4 pool.
Yes.
Right. So
yeah,
that's how I use money pools. So in our second example, you see the pick 3 down here has $62,000 in it, whereas the pick 4 has $17,000 in it.
Yeah. So then you play the pick 3 rather than the pick 4.
Correct. And then if you look up in here, the exacta, trifecta, superfecta, you see the trifecta has $58,000 in it, $10,000 in the superfecta, $22,000 in the exacta. So if you're thinking, do I want to do exacta, trifecta, or superfecta? It's pretty clear. You want to do the trifecta.
Correct.
And then in our final example over here, you look at it, you got $26,000. These are all hypotheticals, but you see the double has $32,000 in it.
Yeah. So that'd be your play.
That would be your play.
Yeah.
So when folks ask, how do I know what to bet? The way you know what to bet is to go look at the money pools and see which money pool has the most amount of money. And if it's a tie, between an exacta and a trifecta, or if the pools are similar, more often than not, there's going to be more money in the exacta pool than the trifecta pool. But if they're pretty close, you want to bet the trifecta.
Absolutely.
Because you want to, if you happen to have the winning ticket, you want to maximize your return.
Sure. Makes
so
sense.
That's how I use the money pools. Terry, how about you?
Yeah, I do the same thing. One of the things I love to do though is if there's a hard favorite in a race, like maybe he's 2-5, and then there's some other horses that are pretty long shots. Start off maybe 7 or 8 to 1 and go all the way up to like 50 to 1. I like to take the favorite in an exacta, put it all behind it, and then turn around and do the other way, put all in the top and the favorite in the second leg. And that happens quite a bit. And I've done very well doing that. It might cost me $20 or $30 to do that. And I've collected as much as $250 doing that.
So you're talking about backdoor exactas, right?
That's right. Yes.
That's the term for that. So basically what Terry's saying is if you have a heavy favorite, you play all the horses on top of that favorite, hope that favorite runs second.
Right.
And that way, and then what you're hoping to catch is like a long shot, like we saw at Arlington when 2 Emmys beat domestic spending. You catch that long shot on top of the favorite, and you end up getting a really nice payout, even though the favorite ran second.
That's right. And my favorite, where that works the best for me is on the foreign races, where they have big fields. So it works really well.
Crazy payouts.
They do. Yeah, they do.
Those English races, I know with Tom, man, sometimes that's why he calls himself 22 to 1 or 50 to 3-1 Tom, because he's always hitting those big ones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For sure.
And another thing is you don't need to play every single race or 6 or 7 tracks at one time. You need to pick out a track and maybe 1 or 2 tracks. And then you need to look at each race and decide if that's a good race as far as value. Is it going to pay a good value? And if it is, and you like some of the horses, then play it. If you don't, and it's not going to pay a good value, then skip that race. I know that's hard to do, but that's the only way you're going to beat this game.
Well, it circles back to Kenny Rogers and the 7-2 offsuit, right? You got to know when to play him. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them, Terry. And I agree with you. So you look through the races, you find which ones you like. And then what I like to do, I mean, when I'm going to really sit down and bet, for example, coming up with the Breeders' Cup, I'll sit down the night before. I'll print everything out. I'll sit down and go through every single race, every single line. And I do that for our pick 4s and stuff too. But I go through everything, and then I'll write it all down. I'll sleep on it. I'll wake up in the morning because sometimes what I saw the day before, I didn't see the next day, or I see something tomorrow that I didn't see today. Then I'll go back and review it, and then I'll finalize it. And then what I'll do a lot of times too, in terms of betting strategy, is I'll write down what I want to bet in each race. And then I'll go through and I'll make those bets. Now, at a place like the Breeders' Cup, the money pools are going to be big, so you don't have to worry about the exercise we just talked about. You can bet trifectas. You can bet exactas. You can bet whatever you want. I'll go through and I'll write down exactly what I want to do in each race. I'll put the money in my account so that I have it, and I'll bet every one of those bets before I start. And that way, I just put them all in. I don't chase. All my money is spent, and I don't spend the day trying to catch up if I'm behind. And that way, when it's all said and done, usually I end up with a profit in my pocket, or at least some money left, because you don't lose them all.
Yeah, that's true. It works out for me. I do that quite a bit too. And matter of fact, I do it especially like if I'm up like in Reno. Sometimes we go to Reno, and my honey wants to go do something. Then I'll bet all my races ahead, and we go do something or go have a dinner or whatever, and then I'll look later when I come back to see how I did.
Or you can watch them on your phone nowadays if you just download the app for whatever your favorite betting outlet is. Speaking of that, Terry, today we're here to talk a little bit about horses too.
That's right.
Now that we've talked about how you might want to think about structuring your bets in terms of which bets to kind of look for, let's talk about your best bet of the day, Terry. What do you like today?
Okay, today my best bet of the day is at Belmont, the third race. I like number 6, Perfect Moneys. Didn't take to the turf last time, and is now back to the dirt where he should be improved. He has trainer Todd Fletcher and jockey Louis Saz, a combo who in the last 14 days have won 2 out of 4 races. And then I like number 5,
Mahamamel. Well, we'll call him Mahamamel.
Yeah. He's finished in the money 100% of the time during his career, and he's won one of those. And then I like number 3, South Africa. He's finished in the money in the last 7 races, winning 2 of them. So,
how did yesterday's fare?
My yesterday, that race had all big long shots. I did not.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yes. So did you? I thought you had the 12 horse though.
I did, but it was my 4th pick, so I don't list it. Yeah, I did have the 12. Yeah,
because you did have the 12 horse in your 3P, not your 3P parlay, but the $3 parlay. So you started off with that nice horse, and then the next race, Dominga did not run to form.
No,
the 2 horse got to the lead, kind of like we talked about, the 2 horse getting to the lead and holding on, and some speed not being a whole lot of speed. It was not a whole lot of speed. That horse took charge and never gave up the lead, and it just never really gave the closers an opportunity to close into him at all yesterday. So we missed our pick 4. I know in my 3P parlay yesterday, I had, I think, 2 winners and a third. And the third place, this is one of the things that I can't stand about, and it's one of the things that always happens, or can happen, if you will, with closers, is that they get stuck in just a bad ride. I don't know if a bad ride, bad trip, bad something, but the horse once again got blocked. Was probably the best horse in the race, just didn't have anywhere to go, had to wait for all the other horses to clear. So this is part of the reason why I think when you do your handicapping, you kind of have to give an edge to the horses that are near the front, because they're simply not going to run into those types of problems.
Yes, that's true. So anyway, the way my pick 3 went yesterday is, I don't know if you ever heard of winning it, but you really didn't.
You got DQ'd?
No, I was all excited because I won it. Then I started looking and seeing how much it was going to pay in that. I don't know how this happened, but in the middle leg, I got the day before. And I picked the horse the day before, and it won the race, but it didn't help because it was the day before. And my other 2 horses, one ran second, one the other one won. So,
yeah, let's say. Well, it's the old what is it? Back to the Future. No, if you know tomorrow, if you knew today what was going to happen tomorrow, we would all be loaded. So let's do our best to see if we can know what's going to happen today, Terry. Today at Belmont Park with our Fly 4. It is a starting in race number 6, Terry, which is on the inner turf for 1 mile and 1/8. Looking at that, they haven't really run a whole lot of races at the distance yet, Terry, but it looks like there's going to be a bias towards closers. It looks like there's a bias against the rail. Looks like you kind of want to be in the middle of the pack there terms of a post position, and probably middle-ish of the pack, like a stalker, not necessarily a worst to first type horse, is the most common type, or what I call a profile of a winner. So let's take a look, Terry, at who you like as your top pick and why.
Okay, I like number 1, Flop Shot. He ran second in his last race and received the highest last race speed rating. Trainer Chad Brown wins 28% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to the next race.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also in the last 14 days won 10 out of 25 mounts, 3 seconds and 5/3.
Yeah, that's the favorite for sure. And I guess as I mentioned, the rail hasn't won yet. So that's one of my concerns. The second concern is that the horse, looking back at it, started its career in France. It never really caught a good track over there. They were always soft, or he ran on an all-weather surface track. And since he's come here, he's gotten a good surface twice and was the favorite last time out. Had the lead in 1 1/8 going into the stretch, but gave it up late. He is going to be inside speed, which can work, I think, at this particular distance. But my concern is that I really don't know if this is the right surface. I think this horse might prefer a little bit more of a soft surface than the hard surface. So hopefully today, Terry, it's not the case, and it does take to the firm surface. I like number 4, Sham Rocket. It's a closer. And trained by Todd Pletcher. It's got Joel Rosario in the irons, has some of the best late pace ability in the field. Did finish third behind Flop Shot last time out. But I like Joel Rosario on a closer more than I do like him on a speed horse. He's run very well at Belmont, been in the money 5 out of 6 times, 4 out of 4 times in the money at the distance, just hasn't won at the distance yet. I feel like if there's going to be a closer that gets this job done, Joel seems to be able to time that stuff perfectly.
Yeah, number 4 is a good pick.
He's
my third pick, and he finished third in his last race. And like you said, he switches to Joe Rosario, and his best turf speed is fastest among today's starters. And Rosario, like you said, has been burning up.
Mm-hmm.
He's on fire. He's won 3 out of 9 mounts in the last 7 days and ran second twice and third twice.
And I think maybe might be one more other horse in this field, Terry, that we might consider. Would you agree, or do you think this is enough?
No, I think there is one other horse. So
okay, and that is number 3. I'm going to guess Value Engineering.
It is absolutely
all right.
Yeah.
Why do you like Value Engineering?
Well, he finished third in his last race, and Chad Brown and jockey Javier Castellano has in the last 14 days won 50% of the mounts that they've been combo on. So.
He was the favorite last time out. If you look back at his history at the Belmont, the horse seems to it does come into the money, but it just seems to me like it likes to just give you hope at the end and then just dash by not getting there. And that's why I think you see it reflected in his 5 races at Belmont. 1 win, 1 second, 3/3. Seems to me like he does like the close, but maybe makes his move a little bit too late.
Yeah.
So I feel like the 3 horse does have a good chance to win, but I would think that the 1 or the 4 is probably going to be more likely to get to the finish line before he does. Any other horse that you like here in case there's a scratch, Terry? I had the 2, but the 2 did scratch.
Yeah, I did too, and I don't have any others other than that one.
Yeah, I don't have any others either. To me, I think that's the field. Looking at the 5 horse winning factor, the other horses in the field last time out did increase its speed figure for sure. Has run well at Belmont for sure. It got Jose in the Jose Ortiz in the irons. It's one I was considering because it should be another one that can get some speed out there. But 6 races in 2021, only a third, and it looks to me like the horse is probably regressing in form. Although the 4 times Jose did ride the horse, he was no worse than 3 lengths from the winner, and usually first or second with not too far off the one that got to the wire first. Sandancer looks overmatched. They're not on the main track. Farmington Road's another one that might improve in the second time off a layoff. So that would be the only other that I would consider in here is the 8 horse.
Yeah, well, you put it up the side if you want.
Just in case there's a scratch. But
yeah,
the only other what I would even think about. All right, so race number 7 is a 1 1/16. This is a maiden special weight, $90,000. It's that real long run down the backstretch into that big sweeping turn, Terry. And because it's a one-turn race, it typically does favor speed horses. They've won 63%. So they've basically won 5 of the 8 races that they've done at the distance, 2 of which have gone wire to wire. The average winner is usually somewhere around third at the quarter-mile marker. Who do you feel like is the horse that's going to get to the not third to the quarter bowl, but first to the winner's circle?
Well, I like number 6, Modongo. Finished third versus similar in the last only start and may improve at a longer distance.
Mm-hmm.
He had the best dirt speed of today's starters. He tied with somebody. Todd Fletcher trains. Irad Ortiz is riding, and that combo in the last 14 days have won 3 out of 8. He has a really good workout on October 14th, 4 furlongs at Belmont, 48 breezing. It was the 3rd best out of 36.
And I feel like Irad better get his wins in now, right? Because doesn't he start a suspension tomorrow?
He does.
Yeah, so he's going to be all out today to make sure he gets all that money. I like From Another Mother, number 7 horse, Terry, Joel Rosario again. Again, I typically prefer Joel in a closing horse, but here he has a speed horse. Outside speed seems to be the right way to win at 1 mile at the Belmont surface. This horse should be one that's close to, if not on the gas early, have the lead, and did run the top last race. Speed figure last time, improved from the previous race in his first route. So I expect the second route will even be better, and I feel like Joel will get him to the winner's circle first.
I, too, like 7. It's my second pick. He ran second versus similar in the last race. And, he's got a really good workout, October 14th, 5 furlongs, 101-1, breezing second best out of 13. So, it's a good pick.
And what else what's another good pick from you?
Number 3, Predicted. He finished 4th in his last race and has a pretty good trainer. So
you like the 3 horse. Okay, I have the 3 horse a little bit farther down my rankings. I like, Terry, the number 5 horse, Urban Forest.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have a liking for the 8 horse, Life is Great. Again, more speed. Life is Great last time out. This horse is stretching out for the first time at 0-for-8 for Robert Caceres. Though I do like the fact that it showed some huge improvement in its last race. I expect that you'll see some continued improvement in this race. Has put in 2 workouts since the last run, so the horse should remain sharp. That's the 8 horse. On the 5 horse, Urban Forest debuted at Saratoga with some of the best early pace figures in this field, so I think he's going to be even better this time around. And since his workouts have been fairly strong, so I like the 5 and the 8. Do you like either one of those?
I like the 5. It's my 4th pick. Yes, finished 3rd versus similar, and he has a really good workout. 48.3, 3rd best out of 33.
All right, so we'll come back and figure out which one of the 3 or 8 we're going to stick in here later on, Terry.
Okay.
Race number 8 is a mile and a 16th on the inner, and this is on the regular turf course. I don't know why I wrote down inner turf. Again, you find this is one where closers tend to do fairly well. You don't necessarily want to be on the front, but being on the front doesn't necessarily hurt you because only one of 9 have won that were considered speed horses. Typically, the winner's around 4th or 5th at the quarter mile marker, usually around 3rd at the half mile marker. So horses that do come off the pace. But I do remember watching a race on the weekend, and maybe that's why I had that in my mind, where at this exact distance, the horse got to the lead, stuck to the lead, and never gave it up. Who do you like as your top choice here, Terry?
Number 9, Doswell. He's finished 3rd versus Tougher in his last race and received the highest last race speeding. And he drops in class today, and trainer Marcus Thompson wins 45% of the time when bringing a beaten favorite back to the race. And again, he's got the best turf speed among today's starters. And I like the fact that he can either go on top or come from off the pace.
Yeah, and if you look, too, at his last race speed figure, was tops in the field, dropping in class, and it was by a wide margin. And usually when you see like a speed figure difference, it's like, I think it was like 7 or 8, maybe even more than that, up to 10 over the next closest horse. I think it's, just real quick. So it's 9. That horse is not running. 10. Yes, it's in excess of 10 over the next closest horse. Those horses, Terry, win a ton of the times. So you see a speed figure difference of 10, like this horse ran a 104. I think the next closest one was a 94. Mm-hmm. That I don't know what the exact numbers are, just from my experience. When you see that big of a disparity, those horses, I can't say almost always come out and win the next race, but it sure as hell feels that way.
Yeah, and I likes the distance. He's 1-for-1 at this distance, and he's finished the money 100% of the time at Belmont, winning one of those races.
Mm. So for me, I think the only horse I want to maybe try to chase it down with, and I know you probably have some other ideas, but for me, I like the 3 Attentive with Jose Lescano and Linda Rice.
Yeah.
Horse was claimed. Linda wins 22% off of a claim. It was the favorite last time out against some of these, missed by a neck with Jose Ortiz in the irons. Has run well at Belmont, 2 wins, a second and a third. But I also like the fact that last time out, the horse improved big time in its late pace numbers. It's one of the best late pace figures it's put up, period, in its last 10 races. If the horse can run that same last part of the race as it did last time out, or continue to improve, as we mentioned, Terry, you want to be middle of the pack. This one's probably going to be middle of the pack. You want to close. This one can close. And I think Linda Rice will get more out of Attentive this race than was provided in the last.
I, too, like number 3 for all the same reasons you just said. So
okay. And who else do you like?
I like the entry, the 1-1A, Bode Cream. Mo Ready. Bode Cream has a high speed figure at today's distance and a good workout. 4 furlongs, 48.3, breezing, 5 out of 55. And Mo Ready had trouble in his last race and ran 6th, not beaten, not all that bad. The trainer, Todd Fletcher and Irad Ortiz, has won 8 out of the last 3 races in the last 14 days.
Yeah, I like those. Do you think there's anything else that we need to add here? I feel like, for me, you'll see later on, I don't really feel like there needs to be more. All right, finally, Terry, let's see if we can go home a winner this week on the Belmont Pick 4. The final race is race 9, which is a mile, and this is the one that's a mile and a 16th on the inner turf. I was just a little bit ahead of myself, Terry. And a mile and a 16th on the inner turf. This one is allowance 80,000, non-winners of 1. And let's see, again, you want to have horses that can close, but this is the distance where speed really doesn't get, it's not a absolute detriment, deal killer, as they say, as a speed bias has won 70% of the time in 20 races at the distance, 25% of them. So you have, what is that, 5 horses have won. Going wire to wire. The typical winner, second or third at the quarter mile marker, second or third at the half mile marker. So you definitely want to have a horse that can be close to the front. And I feel like this race, Terry, as far as your post positions are concerned, it looks to me like the rail struggles a little bit. And if you get post 8 and out, they struggle a little bit. So although the other stuff in the middle looks all right. Yeah. Who do you like?
I like number 4, Pop the Bubbly. Won the last race at Belmont on the turf, and has a really good trainer, Michelle Nevin, with jockey Kendrick Camouche,
who likes to get up to the front.
Yep. And that combo in the last 14 days has won 2 out of 4, ran second in the other one.
I liked the number 12 horse, Terry, and that's outside, and I just mentioned that's a struggle to win. Sweet Fannie Lou, but it's another horse that does have some very good early speed, and it has broken from the outside before, from the 9th in a 12 horse field. It did run 11th once from a 11 horse field and did struggle. That was at Saratoga, but it also has shown that it can get to the front from the outside. It might be a difficult thing to do today, Terry. I hope it doesn't get taken too wide by Dylan Davis, but I feel like the 12 horse has proven to me that it can win from the outside, will be part of the early pace, and let's see if he can do it again.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's my 3rd pick. And Thomas Morley has won 8 out of 20 starts. That's a 40% win clip. And so that's really good. And he also has a good workout, 4 furlongs, 48.4 breezing, was the 6th best out of 40. So, yeah, I like that horse a lot.
Yeah, and when Morley's teamed up with Dylan Davis, they've won 4 of 7 together. Who else do you like, Terry?
Okay, I like number 1.
Marvelous
Mod ran second versus similar in the last race, receiving the highest last speed rating. And trainer Chad Brown in the last 14 days is blistering hot. He's 25 mounts, 10 wins, 3 seconds, and 5 thirds.
Yes, indeed he is. I like the 5 horse, but I think he scratched out of this race, Terry. So my next pick after that was the 11 horse. Who else did you like? That was Home for Christmas. That showed some pretty good speed. Third time off a layoff. Probably does a little bit better. And the jockey trainer combo there of Christophe Clement and Joel Rosario, they've not missed in their last 5 together.
Yeah, the only other one I had looked at and liked was the 5. I didn't realize it was scratched. So
I think it's scratched. Do you want to double check that real quick? Because I kind of
can.
looked at it. I think I X'd them off on my sheet. But in any case,
yeah,
I could be wrong. Would be
No
the
way.
first.
No
would be
way.
the first time in my life.
Yeah. Well, I thought I was wrong one time, but then I realized that I was right. So then
You were wrong about being wrong, so you were still wrong.
That's right. Yeah. So anyway, that's in the 9th race.
Yes, the 9th race.
Yeah.
I thought I saw that he was scratched. I looked
Nope.
at. No, he's not scratched. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I am wrong for the first time.
Yep.
So you want to go with? I like the 11. I do like. Should we just stick them both in there because we have a little bit of extra?
Let's do that.
All right. So we'll put them both in there.
Because I think this is a pretty wide open race, to tell you the truth.
So right now we're at 27 times 5. Terry is what?
Let's see.
27 times 5 is 35. $125, right?
Yeah.
135.
Yeah.
So that's 62 and a half. So we can stick one horse somewhere else. Do you want to go in the? I feel like the first leg is a little bit more wide open than the second leg.
So do I. Let's put the 8 in the first leg.
So, and I think that then will do us in. Don't you think?
I do. Yeah.
So that's going to be what? That's 24 times 5 is 125. Is that right? Can we do this or not? 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, 9 times 4 is 36. Times 5 is 15. Carry the 1. Yes, we can. That's 30, 15, 18. That's, I think, 185. So I don't know if that's right. So $92.50, but somewhere like around there.
Yeah. Well, if we go above the budget just a little, it's not going to hurt.
I don't think we went above. So
no.
All right. So let's look at what we got here. So we have in race number 6, we have the 1, the 3, the 4, and the 8. Race number 7, the 5, 6, and 7. If you like deeper pockets or you want to add something else or something scratches, the 3 or the 8. On the race number 8, Terry and I agree. We got the entry, the 1 and the 1A. If either one scratches, Terry likes the one that is left because he feels like the trainer is going to pick the better of the 2 anyway. The 3 and the 9. And in race number 9, we have the 1, the 4, the 5, the 11, and the 12, Terry.
Yep. I think that's a $90 ticket. So
$90 ticket? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
I had $92.50. You know, doing math on the fly is always fun, especially for the whole world to see.
Yeah, well, let's see. 4 times 3 is 12, times 3 is 36, times 5 is 100.
36 times 5 is 180. So $90. Yeah. You got it right. All right, perfect. All right, let's take a look at how we decided to do it on our own, Terry.
Okay.
This is your hot dog pick 4, my hot dog pick 4. Tell us what you got here.
Okay, I like in the 6th race, I like the 1 and the 3. The 7th race, I like the 3, 6, 7. 8th race, I like the entry with the 9. And 9th race, I like the 1, 4, 12.
So Terry and I agree. And the last leg, the 1, the 4, and the 12, which scares me to daylights out of me. So I'm glad we put the 5 in the 11 and the fly 4. On the front leg, I added the 4, went a little bit deeper. In race number 7, I have the 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can both be right on the 6 and 7. I single the 9. As I mentioned, when you have a pace figure, a final speed figure that's so much better and higher than everybody else's, I've seen that win so many times that I couldn't overlook it. And both of our tickets, Terry, are $18. So hopefully we can find that path where we can get 2 hot dogs and a fly to end this week.
And I feel like the 8th race, the 9 is a single. So I like to put something else in there just in case.
And I don't blame you for that. I was thinking about the same thing, but I just couldn't figure. The only one I kind of thought about was the 1A in there between the 2 of the 1 and the 1A. And finally, Terry, we have our 3P parlay for today. Hopefully you have all horses from today.
I hope so. I don't know how that other happened.
But you love the ones today, Terry.
I do. I like the 6th race. I like 1 flop shot. In the 2nd race, I like the 1A Brody Cream Mo ready. And I took that one over the 9 because I want a little bit better place price. And I think that they're going to run at least in 2nd.
Well, yeah, you got two chances to run 2nd.
That's right. And in the 9th race, I like the number 1 Marvelous Mod.
For me in Keeneland, I went race number 5, the 4-horse Marion Francis, race number 7, the 6-horse Sunyon, and then race number 8, Spicy Marge. So Terry and I have a mod and a Marge to clean up our 3P parlays. Any final thoughts, Terry, before you get up and out of here today?
Oh, no, I just hope everybody has a really good day and safe day. And it's raining out there in California. So if you're out here in California, watch yourself.
I thought it never rained in California.
Oh, no. It rains.
Wasn't there a song like It Never Rains in Southern California?
That's
like
right.
When I was a little kid and people were wearing bell bottoms and beads, and I thought, man, they're weird.
Yeah. Well, the weather's changed so drastically here over the last 10 years. So, but it's the first rain, so the streets are going to be really slick. Just be real careful. And if you're betting the races today, win lots of money.
Yes. As Carl Broberg said, try to stuff those pockets full of cash, Terry.
That's it.
All right, Terry. If you like what you saw today, folks, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Thumbs up would be appreciated as well, but only if you enjoyed the show. On Facebook, like us. That way when we go live, you'll be notified. Terry and I go live every Monday through Thursday. Terry won't be here tomorrow, but Tom will be here tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat station. We'll be talking about international racing. So you can do Terry's international betting strategy where you go all over the favorite and hope one of those $170 horses comes in on top.
That'd be
that
great.
Certainly is the right way for that to work out. I love when that happens, as they say.
Yeah, me too.
And then, you can always follow us on Twitter as well. Terry, enjoy the day off. As always, it's been my pleasure to work with you this week. Look forward to it next week. Terry won't be with me on the live broadcast on Saturday. He's got more fun things to do, and I can't blame him for that.
Yeah, I'm going to have some fun with my honey bunny. So
it'll be a good time. Enjoy that and drive safely. All right, folks, until we catch up again. Oh, I almost forgot. Tonight, Terry won't be here tonight, but Sean and I will be here tonight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Same horse racing radar TV station here on YouTube or YouTube station. We'll be talking to jockey Victor Carrasco from Laurel, discussing 3 mounts that he has in the Laurel Millions, bunch of $100,000 races at Laurel. And I look forward to it tonight because, as I mentioned yesterday, Laurel is one of those tracks I always struggle at, Terry.
Yeah.
So I want to hear from a jockey's perspective how you win at Laurel. And then I can maybe incorporate that into my handicapping.
Sounds good to me. So.
All right, Terry, have a fantastic week until we catch up again on Monday. Enjoy your time away and make the most of it. And then we'll see everybody tonight. And then again tomorrow with Tom and then Terry, and I'll be back on Monday. Until then, folks, we hope that you have a fantastic Thursday and that all of your tickets end up in the
winner's circle.
Absolutely. Have a great day.